God. It doesn't make sense to me, dude.
Sean here, and a good point was brought up in Styled Moss Chat, who I love that channel. I love pretty much every channel in this community. I try to give money when I can. We just have a really good time. We laugh. It's so hard when you're listening to the goblin. Anyway, so what if Sally Pence sits? And we're going to explore that. I'm going to tell you my opinion and then tell you what I think Ohio's statute is. Sally can't fence sit if there's visible evidence. Like as for the video with the screaming, there's only evidence of screaming. You can't see what's happening. Like when Chance lied about hitting Marty, right? I wasn't going to swing on you. I was rolling up my sleeve even though you were shirtless. Or if he wasn't shirtless, man, that dude's got some issues because it sure as shit looked like he was. You can hear Sally scream in terror. You can hear Ed. We've all heard the video. If you haven't, you can go find it. William Glory Hole, N-Word Boy, Goblin Records. And there's been about 1 trillion breakdowns from guys like Eddie and Swamp Dweller and all the other ones. But if there's no bruises, there's no sores, no infections, nothing that they can see when they come into a household, there's not a whole lot they can do. Think about it. It's like calling somebody to repair your house. They get there and there's nothing to repair. Well, somebody was making noise outside, so we thought the house needed to be fixed. I hope that makes sense, because that's exactly what the situation is right now. So if Sally Pence sits, she's not going to choose Ed. She's not going to choose Chance, because Ed is the wild card, as I said before. If there's visible signs or enough probable cause, I don't want to say that, but enough suspicion that something nefarious is going on. It's not the same, though, as if you have sores or an infection or bruise it or something that the doctor can treat, right? If it's violence, the doctor can't fix it. There is no ignorance like, well, I didn't know if she laid down she was going to get those sores. Oh, my God, we got to get her to a doctor. Okay, fine. Then you go get it fixed and they make sure that this doesn't happen again. And if it keeps happening, you're going to lose responsibility for that person. But when it comes to violence, man, you can't take the risk. So there has to be evidence of violence. Would that video be enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. And the problem with the sister aunt is that she's not a part of that household, and Sally will turn on her in an instant because little Chancey Poo will be right there. But here's what Chance doesn't understand. You're an investigator, an assessment team member, and you show up, and I showed up and I showed out, motherfucking bend up, boys, right on the back, boys. You show up and you start to interview people. Imagine, I hate to keep saying imagine, but imagine the people you're going to interview are one, a pregnant crackhead with hair. If you ever played Arkham Knight, the video game, I believe the guy's name is Henry. He's one of the people Batman locks up. He's a little old man with hunched over kind of. He's got his hair goes out to the side looking like Bozo the Clown. That's who Chance reminds me of. You got him, and then you got cracked out Ed, who's pregnant with an alien in his belly, who talks like this, and then you got the Goblin, who's going to immediately, and this is the red flag for me if I'm an assessment team member. Here's the red flag. You're going to talk to Chance, and the first thing he's going to do is say, I've been bullied for 7 or 8 years. He's going to, hunch his back, put his little hands in like a little rabbit paw pose right in front of him like he always does. I'm talking that, boys. You're going to know immediately. Hopefully you've done your research because you went to look for that video and you do a little research. You see other videos that are similar, or whoever reported it is going to say, hey, you need to go watch these. If he starts talking, imagine, and I've been bullied, William Glory Hole, N-Word Boy, Music Biz Marty. And he starts to go into all of that, and you're not there for him. But he doesn't care. He wants you. It's basically an admission of guilt. Every time the cops went there, he went into that, and they're just like, oh shit, here we go again. But you're there for Sally's safety, and the little goblin goes into that routine. I'm pretty sure that'd be a red flag. And then you have Ed. When you talk to Ed, and you're Ed, you have to choose. Do I stick up for Sally and finally try to be rid of this goblin, but have to deal with all of the nonsense that's going to go on with Sally and the hate she'd have for me and everything else? Is it even worth it? I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship where shit is really bad and you have to decide, is it really bad enough to leave? Should I really leave? And you always talk yourself out of it. You don't go with your instincts. You don't do what's right for you. You start to take the other person's feelings into account, maybe when that's not what you should be concerned about at all. You should be concerned about your own mental and physical health. I would imagine Ed's going to be thinking about this shit. Is it really that bad? Do we really need the goblin out of the house? If he chooses Sally and he spurgs out on the goblin and tells him everything about him, and let's say Chance does get escorted out of there, it's going to be a hell for him with Sally. Chance is going to be across the street in his little beanie, holding up a little boombox, playing Peter Gabriel. In your eyes, I love you, Granny. He's going to try to break back into the house. He's going to be calling. He's going to be, screaming like he always does. But if Ed doesn't say anything, he's basically endorsed Chance to do whatever the hell he wants. Because he's going to only embolden the little goblin, and the goblin is going to act out. He's going to feel more confident that he can get away with anything. So he can do nothing, or he can try to protect Sally. I don't know what I would do in Ed's situation, because I don't know their relationship. I don't know if they've just kind of hit some kind of resolution to be roommates, common law marriage, because I still think that's where Chance got the idea. Roommates, common law marriage. But something would have to be done if there's evidence. So put yourself in this situation. You're the assessment person, and you have the goblin on your hands. Now, the goblin can't take care of himself. I don't know what they have in place for that, but if you're like a mom and you know this, actually, you know what? I feel such hatred for this little goblin, because it's got to be personal sometimes. You have to be fair, but at the same time, seeing what has happened to some of these elderly people, it just makes you enraged that someone would do that. I don't know about Ohio, but in Kentucky, they'll remove your bitch ass from the house and put you up somewhere like, I don't know, the jail or someplace like that, or put you up in like a halfway home. Is that what they're called in Ohio? I don't know what they're called there, but they would find a place. They'd put you in a place you don't want to be, because I think legally they'd have to. Or the first thing they'd say is, Chance, do you have a friend's house you can go stay at? No. Can I just stay in the attic? I won't come out. But I know Sally, no matter her screaming or her crying or her protests, nothing. And Ed, with his begging and his pleading, if he started punching people, it wouldn't matter. The goblin is gone from that house if Ed does what's right. If Ed doesn't do what's right, eventually, in the next 6 months, they will be out there again trying to handle some shit, because Chance is going to be 10 times worse. Every time he gets away with something, he feels invincible. Look at what happened when he went to jail and he came back and he was God. I am God. I went there, chopped it up. He was in on some solid charges. We were handling business. My God. The other question is, would Sally even answer the door? Now, if they're doing their job, they're going to keep knocking until somebody answers the freaking door. I don't know what their time limit is. I don't know how long it is before you can knock on the door. I don't know if you have somebody deliver an envelope if you can't get somebody to get to the door, to not a serve, but like an official receipt of the letter, confirmation. I don't know if that's what happens. I would imagine they have something in place where they guarantee that they are made aware that you cannot escape. We are aware of the violence in this house. Sally is not taking action to protect herself. Ed's a piece of shit, and he's not taking any action at all except laying on the couch perked out. And Chance is up in the attic, completely oblivious to the chaos he's caused and the damage he's caused and the emotional damage, financial damage, stability, any kind of happiness in that house, he has crushed. And if you look on the screen right now, that screen in the background he's clicking on, that's got to go, man. That has got to go. I want him in that attic with nothing to do. I want him so bored that Sally's like, well, we got a job right down the street you can go to. I don't want to. And the reason I bring that up is it's not going to happen. But if Chance provides nothing to that household, if he provides no money, no care, and he's only a source of violence and the problem, it's not going to be difficult at all for them to rip him out. He's doing nothing. Sally doesn't rely on him. And I'll say it again. I know it took me a while to get here, but I'm here. Sally doesn't rely on him for any kind of care whatsoever. Now, she may lie. Oh, yeah, he takes care of me. Well, what does he do? You know, he'll take the garbage out. Whatever she's going to lie, I don't give a shit. But because she doesn't rely on him for care and doesn't need him in the house unless she's getting some kind of stipend or some bullshit from the state to take care of this mentally disturbed individual, nothing of value would be lost from that house. And that is important. If you have ever dealt with a situation like this, and I told you what I went through with my dad and the fucking insanity that we had to deal with. Once it's proven, because it's difficult as shit to prove, it really is. But once it's proven, if you can put a seed of doubt in their mind, if you can bring them around, even with the videos, or there are a lot of good speakers in our community, people that dress up nice, that can actually go there in person. I wouldn't mind fucking going. I'll fill out the paperwork. I don't want to touch the poop. I don't. And I was never even gonna get involved. I assure you though, after what I heard and the horror in Sally's voice, if the people that were that mattered in this community wanted to actually go do something, I would back them up. But it has to be the people that matter and know the whole situation. It can't just be a bunch of gung-ho people, because if you try it once and it doesn't work, you're fucked. Because now the next time you come in, here come the trolls again, trying to get APS involved. You make them a victim every time you call the police, every time you call protective services. Every fucking time they become the victim. Now they can say, they're calling the cops on us, they're calling APS. There's nothing going on in this house. They're the victims. But if Sally calls or Ed calls, so hear me out. Ed is the weak link. If someone could get to Ed, if someone could talk to Ed, if someone could make Ed come around to the fact that his life would be 1,000,000,000 times better without the goblin, that Sally and him would finally have happiness and peace, and that Chance would have to get the help he needed. Just hear me out. If somebody could get to Ed and convince him of this, there might be a chance. Because Ed is a parental figure in that house, and Sally will never do it. You've heard how Sally talks about little Chancey Poo giggly on the phone. The reason I said that is he's done. We've all heard that he's done. I think he would do anything at this point to make Chance go do something. Because as a man myself, seeing this man, supposedly, this bald-headed, friar fuck-looking guy on my screen right here, as a man, seeing him not do anything that a man should be doing is maddening. No drive, no goals, no future. Anyway, Ed would be who you would have to talk into it. So after that long, rambly thought session, Ed is the weak link. If people in this community that knew all the history, that knew what was going on, and that had all the old videos, things that he might have said, any of the reports that Chance, anything that he's done, his history of violence, you could probably plant the seed of doubt in the state's mind, in the board that you'd have to go in front of and petition. Because at this point, that's probably going to be the quickest way to get the goblin out. Because if we wait for the mental health board to take care of him and to at least put him in some kind of project or program, I think I'm going to be dead by then. Chance is going to be 95, outliving us all. And I hate to say it, as I said before, Sally's going to have to get hurt, and she's going to have to realize he's a danger. He's provided me nothing but pain before anything really happens. So while the goblin is threatening his sister aunt about not messing with his roommate daddy and his granny mom, nothing is being done. And I feel like if you've ever sat in a room with no air and it's just stagnant, nothing is happening, it's not comfortable, and you just want to leave, I feel like that is what Chance is in that room. It's stagnant, there's no air, it's stifling, and if you were in there, you just want to leave. And in that house, he's having that effect on everyone else and everything. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll rip his ass out. I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, it doesn't make sense to me, dude.